Welcome back. You are watching Prime Edition. Now, over the last 60 years, the look, size, security features and denomination of the Kenyan currency have changed. Evans Mutai, the Deputy Director in charge of currency operations at the Central Bank of Kenya, says currency coins and notes have gone through various redesigns, new denominations introduced, as well as issuance of commemorative coins. Take a look.
From a bag of unga to a modern type of a currency, the Kenyan currency has evolved over the years ever since before independence. Now, the coins and the notes bear the images of the retired president, athletes, and buildings in the evolution pattern. Before independence, all currencies in East Africa had the image of the British monarch. After independence, new currencies were issued to reflect the independent status of each East African country. In Kenya, this happened in 1966 when the Kenyan shilling was introduced to replace the East African shilling following the establishment of the Central Bank of Kenya.
Now that's what gave us the authority to issue our own currencies. Prior to that, we couldn't issue currencies. Many Africans were thought to be able to carry currencies, notes. That takes us back to actually why we had coins, holes in coins, because it was for stringing, for us to carry. If you look at the earlier currencies in 1918, 1912, you will find that the notes were actually massive, much, much bigger, and they were carried in special carrier bags, not wallets like today. But that has kept on reducing.
The coins minted by the Royal Mint of UK and made from cupro nickel termed uhuru were first issued in the denominations of 5, 10, 25 and 50 cents, as well as 1 and 2 shillings, and had the image of the first President Jomo Kenyatta, while the late issue notes in the denomination of 5, 10, 20 and 100 shillings were released in Arabic, English numerals and in Swahili.
Why that happened is these notes and coins were not only limited to Kenya, they were used as far as Somalia and even Yemen.
These were the final currencies issued by the East African Currency Board, which was dissolved in 1966, paving way for the establishment of the Central Bank of Kenya under the stewardship of Duncan Ndegwa, who was the second governor of Central Bank of Kenya.
We started now talking about our stories as a country. If you look at the back of every note, that's when the story started coming up. You've got people picking cotton there. You've got sisal farming that is going on right there. So we're actually showing our economic activities. There's the tea farming.
In 1973, a 5 shilling coin with 9-side dubbed Kona Tisa was issued to mark 10 years of independence.
Many scholars have debated why the government chose to put together a coin that has 9 sides but to celebrate 10 years. But when you look back at the culture of many communities in Africa and in Kenya, you'll notice that even when you're asked, how many children do you have? Rarely would they tell you, I have exactly 10 children. Yeah. Or if you're told to count, usually they would not give you an exact number. And it was believed that if you gave an exact number, it was actually a bad omen. So the government decided to do 9 sides, but to celebrate 10 years.
In 1980, the coins and notes were phased out through a legal tender and replaced by a depiction of President Kenyatta's successor, the late Daniel Arap Moi, while the former had Kenya's coat of arms.
Around Moi's time, he also produced a lot of commemorative coins. Yeah, and an important thing to point out is every time there's a celebration within the country, whether you're celebrating 20 years, you're celebrating 40 years, celebrating 50 years, the Central Bank of Kenya usually produces what are called commemorative coins. Usually they're either in gold or silver.
Some of them actually collect this and put them in their libraries. But with time, you realize these are limited edition coins. So someone would probably have one piece that was collected from 1840 something, for example, and now today it's worth so much, they would sell it in the auction market. Yeah. We've got some as affordable as 6,000 shillings. We've got some that go up all the way to 200,000 shillings, depending on the material that it's made from. So the pure gold would be more expensive, the brass would be cheaper. Yeah. But they're only designed for celebratory events, not necessarily for circulation.
The coins and notes issued were in denomination of 5, 10, 50 cents, 1 shilling, 5, 10 and 20 shillings, while the notes were in denomination of 5, 10, 20 and 100 shillings.
20 shillings, where the first 20 shillings that was produced was blue in color, and that term has stayed on as slang. You'll hear people telling you that, give me a blue. And and they asked me for a 20 shillings. And it was because this particular note was blue in color. So that particular term stayed on. So these currencies, when they were produced, they were a bit controversial. Yeah. And the reason why they were controversial, you'll notice where the image of the president is around it, there is a sort of an image that looks like a snake. Yeah. So at that time, there was a lot of hue and cry about those particular notes, and then they were changed.
In October 1986, a 200 shillings note was introduced, the highest denomination. This was until 1988, when a 500 shillings note was introduced. Later in 1995, the 1,000 shillings note was issued and has been the highest denomination to date.
You just don't wake up and change the currencies. You've got to consider the elements of security, for example. Remember, the currency is the primary medium of transaction for trade and exchange in any country. If you were to have a banknote or a coin that is easily compromised, then you can as well call it quits for your economy, because anybody will be able to develop their own currencies and be able to trade with it. So we at the bank will make sure that we're actually putting very tight security features in the banknotes as well as the coins.
During President Mwai Kibaki's era between December 2002 to March 2013, only one coin that featured his portrait was minted to mark the 40th anniversary of the country's independence.
But it was a circulatory coin just like any other coin. It's a bimetallic coin, so it has... it can be used for trade. As I said, it's not just a commemorative coin, but a circulatory and commemorative coin at the same time. There were not very many pieces issued, so they're unique in the market.
Following the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010 that prohibited the depiction of portraits of individual people on coins and notes, new currency coins in the denominations of 1, 5, 10 and 20 shillings were issued in December 2018. And in mid-2019, new currency notes were issued in compliance with the 2010 Constitution.
Some of the processes that we have to go through is to think and see the older security features that we had, are they strong enough? Are they able to still withstand another 10, 20 years of circulation? If not, what can we put that is better? What can we put that is going to make sure that the note lasts longer? Size considerations, for example. You see, we've moved all the way from the big ones to the current small ones. Everybody wants to put their notes in wallets.
The banknotes bear the image of Kenyatta International Convention Centre, which is Kenya's most recognizable landmark, and embody each of the big 5 comprising elephant, lion, buffalo, leopard, and rhino.
The new generational coins and notes which were released in 2018 and 2019 have been fitted with security features to ensure that it's not easy to imitate or fake. Now, on the other side, the new look has been fashioned to enable visually impaired to use them. Weri Mujenga for Prime Edition.